Good morning, evening, noon, or night, YouTube. My name is Cameron Hartzler, and I'm going to be talking about COVID-19. Okay, I'll just get it out right now. I feel like I'm joining a bandwagon here because a ton of YouTubers have talked about COVID-19. The news is all over COVID-19. Your Facebook is all over COVID-19. Yada, yada, yada. But this isn't just any COVID-19 talk video. This is my submission for my final project for Encountering New Communities 2. And thus, this video is going to be a little bit different from what you've heard before. I'm not going to talk about the facts of COVID-19 or the rumors or the complete and total oversensitivity to it. I don't want to get into any political junk. So if you have something to say about what I'm about to say, just don't say it in the comments section. It just stirs up unnecessary political chit-chat. Anyways, I have been assigned to answer 5 questions about COVID-19 relating to our communities and how they have been affected by this pandemic. Thus, I am going to spend the remaining time of this video answering those questions. If you have any questions of your own, please leave them in the comments. And here we go. Alright, first question. How has the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted life in America? Oh boy. Well, obviously, it has completely and totally disrupted our entire livelihood. But I want to get specific here. I'm a scientist. I like details. One thing that has been extremely disrupted during this pandemic is our economy. Now, I will admit, Trump has done a great job improving our economy, but most of the improvements that he has made, unfortunately, COVID-19 has actually overturned. Last I heard, there were 26 million people out of a job that were still hardworking individuals 2 months ago. Furthermore, people have had trouble applying for a job. I am one of those people. I have been applying for jobs left and right and just haven't gotten any luck. Anyways, furthermore, a lot of the businesses because of the virus and the social distancing, a lot of the businesses have had to shut down. A lot of firms have sent everyone home. And again, a lot of people have been laid off. I'm fortunate enough to have my dad hardworking just in the office right outside my room, so thank God for that. But in general, our economy has been severely disrupted. Second, our lifestyle has been disrupted. Before this whole pandemic happened, I had a solid down routine of where I would get up, take a shower, wash my face, shave, take my medicine, and walk to class. After class, I would go to the next class, eat lunch, go to my next class, etc. I had a routine, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you watching had a similar routine or a different routine, but because of that, or because of COVID-19, our lifestyles have been completely changed. Now I stay up past midnight on most nights, which I really shouldn't do, but I mean, there's not a lot to do now. Whereas a lot of us had activities like sports and clubs to meet with, or after work activities with your buddies, we aren't able to do that anymore. We are stuck at home. And I am filming this in my bedroom because my brother is busy working in his bedroom, my dad's busy working, and so is my mom. Otherwise, I would have probably picked a more suitable location for this, but that's besides the point. Sorry, I keep getting on these rabbit trails. But in all honesty, our lifestyles have made a complete 180 shift. Because normally in society, we're always go, 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 go. Work, 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 no rest, keep going, etc. But this COVID-19 business has forced us to slow down, to spend time with our family, granted, stuck inside our house, but nonetheless, it's spending time with your family. Furthermore, it has allowed us to do a lot of things with our families that we haven't been able to do for a while. For example, we here at the Hartzler household appreciate a good family game night. Just recently, we played a game called Parcheesi, which requires 4 members. And had we not had my dad home from work, my brother home from college, myself home from college, we wouldn't have been able to do that. And furthermore, in lifestyle changes, we haven't really gone out of the house much. I know that's an obvious point, but it needs to be said because we are spending much more time at home and not in our communities. Finally, one of the biggest changes that I've noticed in how COVID-19 has disrupted life in America is the state of fear. Everyone is scared that if they even go outside, touch a doorknob, that they're going to catch this deadly virus. Now, to my understanding, COVID-19 is just as deadly as the flu, which I don't hear us complaining about the flu every single year, but it is more contagious. Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. Yes. Included in that lifestyle change is our education. Instead of going into classes, we're now having to do online projects and things like this, to where we have to send in our thoughts and opinions on a YouTube video for all the world, including our professors, to see. Included in that, a lot of people have actually started considering homeschooling because they have realized just how convenient it can be. But that's enough on that question. Let's see here. What do we have next? Okay, what has COVID-19 pandemic revealed about life in America? Well, the biggest thing I thought of when I saw this question was we have a false sense of security. We go about our business every day thinking that the world is fine and dandy. Sure, there may be a war going on over in Korea or Afghanistan or wherever it is these days. Sorry, that's besides the point. Sure, there may be a virus starting up in China. Sure, the polar ice caps may be melting, but that's not going to affect me, right? Well, here we are, stuck inside our house because of that pandemic that came from China. And so as America, I feel that we have put too much confidence in the status quo, to where when possibilities of catastrophes occur, we say, oh, it couldn't happen to us. Well, it happens. Along with that, okay, I'm just going to switch off the serious modes because this thing has revealed that a lot of Americans lack common sense. Like, if you've seen on the movies to where people are even with the masks, people are not using gloves, even though this is a contact spread virus. Yes, the masks are important because that's how the particulates get into the air, science and diffusion. But we're still touching a bunch of stuff. Furthermore, when a lot of people have chosen to wear masks, it honestly wasn't known at the time that this was a respiratory affecting virus. So why would we need masks? It's kind of like tetanus. You can't catch tetanus by breathing a rusty piece of iron. And correct me if I'm wrong, America, because I know you will. But I've been joking a lot about this pandemic with my family because a lot of it just doesn't make sense to me. Like people's reactions, people's ideologies, I guess, or thought process. It just doesn't make sense to me. And maybe that's because I have Asperger's, but my family doesn't. Anyways, another thing that I've learned about America is that we tend to sensationalize things, make things a bigger deal than they really are. Yes, as I said before, COVID-19 is not a joke. Just think of it as the flu, and you pretty much, or a really contagious flu, and you have COVID-19. The flu still kills people, or thousands, hundreds of thousands of people each year. It's no laughing matter. But the way that the media is portraying it as the bubonic plague, the entrance to the apocalypse, that's just wrong. Furthermore, I've even found articles that the news has point blank lied about the footage and the status and the statistics. There's this one example actually to where a man saw himself on the news coverage and was like, hey, that's not me at the grocery store with a whole bunch of lines during this COVID-19. That was during Hurricane Harvey. And so I feel like I've gained a bit more distrust for the media because they lied to us. I mean, just for good ratings, just tell us the truth. Let's see here. What else do I have on this? Sorry to transition so quickly. Honestly, this is making me sad because of this whole mess that we're in. But even during this mess, we still need to reach out to our communities, even now, more than ever. Because one of the biggest dangers is isolation, especially spiritual isolation. If we aren't in contact with our brothers and sisters in Christ, then we will spiral into depression. We are not beings made to be alone. We are beings made to be with each other. Anyways, just wanted to get that off my chest. How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted your local community? Well, where I'm currently living is good old Katy, Texas. And one of the biggest things I've noticed is there's a lot less traffic. A lot less traffic. And so that's always good. But that aside, one of the biggest ways that COVID-19 has especially affected Katy, Texas is because of the small businesses. Like mom and pop shops, they are severely struggling right now, financially. And I feel that mom and pop shops or family-owned restaurants or small businesses like that form the foundation of Katy, Texas's economy. And so for that to have been dealt a heinous blow, it's most definitely detrimental to our community as a whole. And specifically in the way that I relate to my community, it hasn't really changed much. I'm an extrovert with introverted tendencies, but I haven't been able to talk to my friends a lot. I haven't been able to see my friends a lot. Granted, I've made some new ones over video game chats, but the virtual chats don't really cut it when it comes to being in the presence of another. And for the local economy itself, or local community itself, it's kind of put a pause on my life and made me think, okay, what are some ways that I can actually help those around me and not just sit idly by and just care about myself. So I think that one way that we can serve each other and reach our community's shalom, that's the last question, is just think of foodstuffs. Food always brings people together. And so one thing that I thought about doing at least last night was we had made this mom and son's vegetable soup. And I mean, the pot was about this big. I mean, like, it was huge. And so, but we still had leftover ingredients. And so I'm like, why not make a pot of it and share it with our neighbors? And you can do something similar. Just something simple like a casserole or a cake or a giant pot of soup. One of the reasons I suggest this is because, yes, we all are cooking for ourselves now, but even then, I found myself eating pizza rolls at least 3 times a week. It gets boring. And so to share recipes and to share food with each other would help bring the community closer. Another thing that I noticed is that well, maybe not so much here in Houston, because the heat, the bloody heat. But maybe somewhere else, we could sit out on our front porches and talk to our fellow neighbors. Just check in on them, see how they're doing, and just serve them as God has served us. Now, I realize that this video may not be the best of quality. It may not be the greatest of content, but if you consider the situation that we're all in this together. I know that's been a slogan thrown around by the news media, but it is true. We are all in this together. But we cannot be in this together if we are separate. And so, with that last question answered, I encourage everyone who has viewed this to just reach out to your neighbor today. Because they're stuck in their same place just as you. I hope you all have a great morning, noon, afternoon, evening, or night. And I'll see you next time.